Greetings, everyone. On the screen is another year's harvest. Thanks to the great spirits. From a seed to a fragile plant to beautiful fruit. How can I not be thankful? Now I'm going to handle some serious business here, and I'm going to put the responsibilities squarely at your feet. And I'm going to say that we have invited the serpent into our homes. We have turned the monsters into pets. We have cuddled them and cajole and kissed them and nurtured them. And now what we got is some huge monsters that we cannot control. We fed them and we entertained them. And now they're the master of the home. Let me start with this story. Some years ago, when my girls were like little, my first two girls were small, they said they wanted a cat. Now, I don't like cats, but they were bothering me about it, so I decided to take them to the Humane Society. And when I went there, we located a cat, not our favorite choice. It was a young cat, young baby, kitten. But because all the other ones were gone, there were always paperwork at their section where they were kept. And once you see the paperwork, someone already adopted it. I wanted to adopt one cat for my children because they were pestering me. So I left them to stand beside the kitten. And I said, don't move, because if you do, someone else will come here, fill the paperwork and take it. And then you're going to have to go find another one. When I came back, I saw them leaving the cage where the cat was. And I said, why are you leaving? I told you to stand there. And they said, we don't want it. I said, what do you mean you don't want it? It's a baby. It's better that we take the baby and raise it as our own and break it the way we want to break it. They said, we don't want it. He's very aggressive. So when I went back with them now, they said, no, this little baby is so sweet. No way. As they were bending down in front of the cage and talking to me at the same time, the kitten put the paw out and scratched after my daughter's face. And she jumped back. And of course, I was alarmed. I was like, oh no, 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 no. Let's go, guys. The money I was going to use to buy this, I'm taking you to Red Lobster. We went there and had dinner. And when we got home, my older daughter said to me, Mom, I'm so glad you didn't take that cat, because when this cat come to this house today, it would say, I am home now. Here are the rules. Pretty much she was saying, if you took that cat here, we would become its servant or slave. And so what we've done is allowed individuals in this world to turn us into their slaves. It's not the first time, because they love slaves. They love to enslave animal, people, things. They love to rename everything. But here's the thing that is most frightening. Not only did they try to control animal, plants, people, things, they started planning and plotting to take the position of the Most High, of the great spirits. I feel more comfortable saying great spirits, because I really don't like using any of these other words that they use to identify the Almighty. Remember, I have my own fundamental beliefs, and some of it I do not even share, because that stuff, if I share it, it'll make people move like they're feeling the quake. And so these ones now, just sit in a corner, with their fingers tapping, the tip of their fingers tapping together in the dark, and they're saying, how else can I I can change this. How will I change it? So when they made that lamb in the UK and they told you that it was something that they created in a lab, oh, people were fascinated. There were always going to be people who would resist. There will always be people who say, no, something is wrong with that picture. Put the name of the lamb in the comment section, because this is how I get you to engage. The name of the first cloned animal. Put it, well, that the first one they told us about. Because trust me, by the time they start telling you things, it's long gone. By the time you're hearing about the diseases and stuff, it's like dash out long time. Dash out, remedy, cure, and ways to keep the money coming. By the time you find out, it's late. But we watched, and some of the things that they offered us were conveniences, never really making anything to conveniently create peace, conveniently take us out of poverty, conveniently lift us up to higher heights, conveniently, bless us. No, it was all destructive. And so these ones sat in that dark room and they were saying, how can I take the position of the great spirits? See, I almost did it just now. Because even though we say we are enlightened, oh, it's a struggle. Because the thing is real. The indoctrination, the brainwash, the control, it's so real. These ones were sitting there saying, they say there is a great spirit, but I want to find ways how I can conquer it. They legitimately think that they can become the great spirit. Watch the movies and you see all these stories about these earthly men playing the role of a great spirit with their sword and their guns and their knives and their nuclear devices and their lies. This is where you come in. You allowed it. You allowed that one person to be choked on the street. You allowed that one clinic to be opened over there. And the invitation, you voluntarily went into that area and said to them, this baby is not here at the right time. Get rid of it. You went and let them pump things up your ass. You went there and, made your chest bigger. You take ribs out. What do you think they were doing? Adam, take the ribs out and give it to the woman. Everything that is written in that text is placed there by the hand of man, and they made you think that it was. They call that being God. You're complicit. You saw people go hungry on another continent, even though it is one of the richest continents, and the people who have power in that continent see their own people die. They plot and plan with strangers to come in and to take away the people's food and give them things for them and their generation. What do you think? You helped. You gave them mountains to climb on. You gave them oceans. You gave them entire air spaces. You told them there was too many people in the world. Some had to go. You allowed them to create food that was not real, and you knew. And you gave it to your people. You're complicit. And then you went to the supermarket and you read the chicken wing box that says soy and sugar and salt, and you still bought it and told yourself it was chicken. You were complicit, or you are complicit. You allow somebody who live in a country and know that their people were so poor that they go to bed hungry, and they buy their food and don't like the taste of it, or just don't want to be bothered with it, and throw it in the trash. And it was okay. You sat on the mountain in your big fancy mansion and looked over in the city, and when you see it's just trouble and suffering and pain and anguish in every form, you allowed for it. You justify so many terrible things that happen in the world. And you praise the ones because you said they're powerful, they're great, they're mighty. You made them into a god. Yes, this is the only time that word is really useful. You made them into gods that are now putting you back on the field. Not that you ever came off, but the lords, the feudal lords, will always set you to work and then come and harvest what you have planted. And so they were harvesting things. They've harvested people, but now they're placing you back on that field, and you have to bow. You did that. You asked for a king, and now here comes King Kong. You did that. You heard them say blasphemous things, and you justified it. So you ask, why are African people, suffering, and why are we struggling? Because we refuse to unite. I will refuse to give honor and praise to our great spirits that surround us. Everybody else identify with the spirits of their forebears except us. Bet you somebody's going to come under this video and say that there's no spirits, and start telling you what you're supposed to feel and what you're supposed to believe in. Well, take it. Take the whole platform. Take it over, and after I'm done talking, come and talk on here. Now you just have to bend down and say, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Because you made them your God and forgot the ones who created the earth. They created the world, The world belongs to them. There's no lie in that. They named you and your child. They gave you the rules and the laws and the statutes. So what is the problem if they break it or they change it? They are the ones who have the mandate. They must carry it out because you needed a king. Now you must obey. The only reason for having a king is to have somebody over you, to control you, for you to bow down and worship. Worship your king. Worship your king. Serve your king. Why are you complaining? Why are you upset? Why are you surprised? Do you see these people congratulating each other for obeying their kings and their masters? They're so proud of it. They're wearing it with a badge of honor. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait. They'll be weeping and mourning and gnashing of teeth. The angel is without head, and its blood dripping from the side. The ocean is overflowing its banks. Yes, the people are going to be hungrier, and the more pain and suffering and heavy-handedness, the more satisfied they are, and they're preparing the younger seeds to come and continue with it if they leave off. You worry about it today, and they worry about decades ahead. Because everything that was written in that little black book that they gave the people on the plantation, everything was just written there, placed there to remind the next generation what to carry on. And so people are out here talking about the beast and the mark of. It's because they documented that for this time. Great spirits are always showing us and giving us a means of escape, but we don't want it because we don't see them with our physical eyes. We trust the ones we see. Our food contaminated, our bodies, our mind, our air, our ocean. Even as we are here swelling with pride. What can I say? That required a moment of silence. What can I say? What can I say except that give yourself a big applause because you did that. You fed that monster. You turned your back on what is right and true and gave your power to the serpent. Live with it. Relish it. Celebrate it. Those of us who saw it coming and still see it coming, you just have to humble yourself and hope and pray that someone will conquer the beast. Stay blessed, everybody.